Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the program after an absence of several weeks, but certainly not long enough, the man who has extorted his way onto the show today, under the premises, the only way I can find out who that I know is dead. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Kenny Starmaker Bolin.
Well, number one, my absence hasn't been any fault of mine. I'm always agreed to be on the show here.
I didn't say anybody was at fault for it. I said it had been enjoyable.
You fucking me out. I mean, your fans don't enjoy it, but I think you're already getting the show off to a bad start. What did you say? You want to find out who you know that's dead? That's not why. I
explained earlier in the program that you put out all over town when you made your rounds, fleecing people over Derby weekend, out of towners. That somebody that I knew very well was dead, and you would only tell me who it was if you were here on the program. That's why you're here on the program. So who is dead?
Once again, you got your facts wrong. That is not what has happened, and I wish that were the brunt of it. It's not who you know that's dead. It's who that you know, and that I know, and that the prince knows, who murdered somebody, killed somebody. Yes, somebody that we know, somebody that we're very close to.
How is this somebody that I would be close to murdered somebody and I didn't hear about it?
Are you not close to me? You're close to me, then you're close to my friends. And this was somebody in our inner circle. Somebody in our inner circle is in jail right now for murder. One of my personal friends.
All right. Well, then I admit I've been incommunicado over Derby weekend. So apparently I've missed something major. So who the fuck killed them?
Apparently you have, because this was on all four major network channels here in Louisville.
I didn't watch the news. I watched the Derby and we watched videos of Me TV.
Well, don't you watch
I watch Svengoolie every Saturday night.
Don't you watch The Price is Right? Because after that follows the noon news, and on the noon news,
I don't watch The Price is Right.
Well, good Lord.
Who the fuck, for God's sake, just who murdered who murdered somebody?
I'm telling you, man, this is going to freak you out because, well, number one, the prince probably knows him as good as anybody. I knew him pretty well, and then you knew him pretty good because you were kind of tied in there as well. But why don't you take a guess? Why don't you just guess? You know the people I hang with. Guess who fucking murdered somebody and is on every news channel in town. It might even go national news. It might go world news. It might go worldwide, Jimmy.
I know you're just goddamn, but in all seriousness, somebody in our social circle murdered somebody.
I'm no pun intended. I'm dead fucking serious.
Your brother, I have to ask: was it a human? Was a human killed, or was it something else?
Yes. Is this a trick question?
Human was. Do you think I'd call up here about the murder of a fucking cat? No, it's a human. Goddamn it!
All right. Your brother Timmy John, biscuits and gravy. Finally,
my first guess. Well, my first guess was you. When Prince called me and said that there was a murder, I immediately said Jimmy Cornette killed Stacy, and he said no. And then I said Timmy John. Timmy John was my second guess. No, so that counts as your first guess. Obviously, I didn't kill anybody, so don't guess me.
Why is that obvious?
Who? Well, it's only obvious because he was recently cleared of it. We'll talk about that in a minute, but...
I have been cleared.
All right, then your ex, Gabby, she finally snapped. All the years that she had to put up with your mental and emotional abuse.
Well, she hasn't had to put up with it lately, so no, it wasn't her. Not Gabrielle.
I don't know. Why are you making me play the games?
Prince, me and you, all three know this person. We have intermingled. I tell you what, I'm going to give you a hint. You have given this person money. Yes, you have. I swear to God.
It's not me. For the record, it's not me.
Yeah, that'd be surprising.
Would you just... I've got to calm down here. I got to calm down and try to focus on this.
Calm down. Calm. What the fuck you talk? Calm. How in the hell do you intertwine calm and murder? Murder and calm. How the fuck does that factor in? Don't be calm. Yes. Give me a name. Give me a fucking name.
That's what I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to be calm about this murder, or I'm trying to find out murder and calm. Don't go to... I don't know who killed somebody. Tell me this fucking story, for God's sake.
Okay. All right, I'm going to tell you, because obviously you're not going to guess.
No, I'm not going to guess.
Do you remember when we had the Steak and Shake Challenge on on Bardstown Road, not the one way down on Bardstown Road, but upper Bardstown Road, close to the Showcase Cinemas, not too far from Target and Walmart. You know which one I'm talking about.
Where Catbox, your son, the prince, insisted he could eat 2 7x7s, and I said I could eat.
We were all three going to be in the dance. I was in when it was 1 7x7, and it was a timed issue. But then you all changed it to a quantity issue. Y'all wanted to go multiple 7x7.
Yes, we had a challenge where we ate a bunch of 7x7 burgers, 7 patties, 7-piece cheese. They're delicious.
You all had a bunch of them. I only had one. I want to clear that for the record right now.
Yeah, all right.
You remember when that happened? Okay. Do you remember?
Who's the murderer?
You remember the manager, Dave? You remember Dave who orchestrated that thing?
Dave, manager at Steak and Shake. Dave.
Well, I got to let you know, Dave since then has told me that he's very sorry about the discount you got after you paid the bill because he meant to give you 40% off. That was his intentions, but he didn't realize that the other person had already factored some of that discount in. And
never mind.
He couldn't apply a discount on top of a discount was the problem.
It's supposed to be free and based on your say-so, but I learned that lesson a long time ago. But anyway, so manager Dave killed somebody.
No. Where are you getting these bullshit facts at? No. Dave didn't kill anybody. I'm telling you, this is how it went down. Do you remember the waitress that waited on us that day?
I remember that we got waited on.
Yeah,
yes.
We got waited on. Remember the pretty little brunette named, well, we called her Tina at the time. Do you remember pretty little brunette named Tina? Little sweet girl?
The one that you were constantly making inappropriate comments to? It was embarrassing.
I don't think that happened. No, I'm talking about, well, maybe. But still, but she's a pretty girl. You know me. If a girl's pretty, I like to let her know. And if a girl is ugly, I say nothing. I don't say much about your looks, do I, Alice?
She was very young and innocent, and it was uncomfortable. Some of the things, the innuendos that you were saying without actually coming out and saying things. It got uncomfortable. She may have been 18, but she looked very innocent to me.
Well, do you remember tipping her?
Judge a character. But anyway,
you remember her?
Did somebody kill little Tima or whatever?
No, Tima didn't get killed. No. God damn, you get your story so fucked up. She didn't get killed. She's still alive and I can't say well.
Jimmy. If you don't tell this story of who killed who, I'm going to have Alice hang up on you. You're done.
Jimmy. Fatima murdered somebody.
The little girl, what was she? Fucking 5'4" and fucking 19 years old and 120 pounds, maybe.
Give or take. That's the first facts you've gotten right today. Yeah, those facts are correct. Right. Well, let's put it this way, in an roundabout way. Oh, the big headlines going all over Louisville, over the world.
What did she do? Serve him a burger with ptomaine in it? Because
she lost her job at Steak and Shake. The one that I and the Prince got her, we got her that job there after we'd gotten her a job at Fazoli's, and she got let go because of sexual harassment charges that she had filed on the manager. Well, they fired her. Which I didn't think you could do that, but she filed sexual harassment charges. We got her the job at Steak and Shake, and then she lost that job for 5 days.
Her goddamn resume. Who'd she kill?
Well, 5 days of no call, no shows. She went away for a while. She went to California. We heard to do porn. I don't know this for a fact, but we heard that's what the thing was, that she went out there to do porn. She came back here looking better than ever, had a little cash in her pocket, seemed to be doing well. Prince ran into her at a food distribution place that he started. He ran into her a few weeks ago. Well, the opening line on the headline news is that Fatima, which I call Tina, her brother was some fucked up name, Abadab or whatever, and then Tyrone.
Oh, thanks for doing your reporting.
Tyrone was the boyfriend of Fatima, and they had punked out and robbed over 12 to 13 people off Phillips Lane down by the Derby. They were punking them out after Oaks and robbing them.
Phillips Lane there at the airport, at the airport hotels, because it's right across from the fairgrounds.
Well, when they showed the map, they showed Churchill Downs in there too, so I assumed it was close.
Everybody's in town for the Derby.
Exactly. Well, apparently this was some strategic thing that they had put together, and they were punking out and robbing people as they were leaving the Oaks
Now, wait a
and
minute.
leaving.
This girl, as I recall, didn't even get my order of Steak and Shake fucking correct, and she was the ringleader of a goddamn brain trust to fucking.
Well, hear me out. Turns out, well, she was a badass. I left this out of the story, and I don't even know if I've told you. We had gotten her out of jail on 3 previous occasions
What?
for getting in fights at parties. She beat the shit out of her aunt. Her aunt filed
Wait a minute. Why
assault
is it?
and battery.
Yeah, why is it up to you, Father Bolin, to
Well,
get these?
I'm kind of a father figure to the young pretty girls here in Louisville.
You got your finger in the youth of America again?
You know that. I've been telling you that for years. My finger is in the youth of America. This kid needed help. You all try to make something dirty out of it, and that's not what it is. But
I have to know what made you open your wallet. That's kind of a rare occasion.
Well, I didn't. I called for other people that had more money than me. I didn't open my wallet. I didn't have to do it.
Let's not get him off on a side fucking note, or this will be forever. But the point is, so they were robbing people. But that's a long way from murder.
Well, here we go. They had robbed apparently 11 consecutive that they have owned up to. They confessed to 11 robberies between Oaks and Derby. All right. Well, they went for a 12th. It was 2 Canadians coming out of the Derby. I don't know if they knew they were Canadians or not, or if that factored in. But they followed these Canadians.
Well, wait, why would it factor in if they knew they were? Keep
well,
going.
they might not like Canadians. I don't know. A lot of people don't like Canadians. I don't know if you know that or not.
Well,
I kind of like Mexicans. You know, they're kind of you got to pick and choose.
Oh, but, for heaven's sake!
So they followed these 2 Canadians. And Fatima, being a very pretty, very voluptuous, very sexy young girl, she was calling guys over for help. Well, what any natural hormone male is not going to go try and help a pretty young girl? Hell, I would. That's what I do. I'm a nice guy. So they went over to get help. Well, Tyrone and Abadad, whatever his name is, they come out of the goddamn bushes or whatever, would beat the shit out of these unassuming people, take their money, their wallets, their jewelry, and then go back to the hotel and divide up the winnings.
Well, it's an age-old scheme, but I can't believe it's that young lady was involved.
I've seen it undone.
So how does this result in murder?
I saw Matt Dillon and Festus in on a gig like that.
Oh, don't talk about Gunsmoke. How does this? Oh, keep on the phone.
Well, I'm staying on it if you'll let me. Apparently, and you're not going to believe this.
Try me.
Those 2 Canadians fought back. Can you imagine 2 Canadians fighting back?
Canadians fighting back?
Yes.
Wait a minute. This sounds like another one of your stories, Bolin.
Almost even bigger news. Those 2 Canadians fought back, and then they were losing the fight, and one of the Canadians made a run for it. One of the Canadians made a run for it, and he
just one of them, and left his compadre to face fucking consequences?
He left the compadre to face the consequences. Well, that compadre realized he was in a 3-on-1 beatdown. Fatima's tough. I've gotten her out of a lot of bad situations.
I believe you mentioned that, but
she pumped out other women, but I didn't know she was beating the shit out of men too. So it's a 3-on-1 beatdown. He tries to make a run for it, and they shoot him in the leg as he's leaving. He goes down. Now I got this straight from a police officer friend of mine. This ain't no hearsay bullshit.
You have a police officer you're friendly with?
A couple of them. And he called me last night and gave me the inside scoop. He said that they shot him in the leg as he was trying to run away. And then Tyrone, the boyfriend of Fatima, goes up to him. They said he got about 70 yards away. He chases him down, gets up to him, puts 3 bullets in his belly and 1 in his head. Murdered that Canadian execution style. Killed him right there, dead. All right, well, listen.
And this fucking little Steak and Shake waitress was involved. Yes.
She was setting them all up. They said she's as guilty as the shooter. The police officer told me she's as guilty as the shooter for setting them up, and that she is looking at life, possibly a death sentence. And they've already confessed. They don't think there's anything. There's not an attorney in the world that can get her out of it. But you're probably wondering to yourself, how the fuck did they get caught? And how did they get caught so quick?
Well, I'm about to, but also now the story has completely metamorphosed from somebody in my social circle is dead
that you've given money.
Circle has murdered somebody to somebody that I had a brief fucking 15-minute interaction with at a Steak and Shake in the process of being served food probably 2 years ago.
Are you? Well, number one, you went more than
This
once.
was the
That
big
you were waiting on
revelation.
You went more than once. You've met her more than once, and you gave her money. I think you tipped her. You tight son of a bitch. You better have.
I didn't give her. Well, I gave her money. But yes, I gave her
You
money.
gave her You have given money to a murderer. I want you to put that in your resume. You're writing all these fancy
All
books.
right, how
Put in your
did they
book.
catch these people? How did they catch them?
Well, she got rattled. Apparently, she didn't mind beating down people. She didn't mind punking people out. She had no conflicts with roughing some people up for a little cash exchange. Apparently, she wasn't in on wanting to shoot people dead right there on the goddamn scene. So they go back to the hotel that the three of them were sharing, and she loses it. She starts babbling to everybody that'll listen. Oh my God, we just fucking murdered somebody. We just fucking killed somebody. Yeah, we've been robbing people. We've been making a lot of money, and now we fucking killed somebody. Oh my fucking God. Well, one of the compadres who was there in the room listening to the story says, oh my God, these motherfuckers have been out robbing people. That's bad enough. Well, they got a gun and are killing people. Well, who knows where this ends? Maybe he had money in his pocket and didn't want to get robbed or killed. So he made an anonymous
Stick to
call.
the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
The facts are what you're getting. He made an anonymous call to the police, ratted all of them out, told them exactly where they were, and in under 24 hours, they brought down the paddy wagon and gathered them all up, hauled them down, and they got Fatima and her brother aside, and they confessed to everything, but they said it ain't going to matter because they participated just as heavily as the shooter. Everybody's going to prison. Tyrone's done. He's getting a life sentence before.
Not Tyrone.
Tyrone's getting a life sentence even before they go to court. And they said that they all three might be facing the death penalty because Canadians are pissed. The Canadians are in an uproar.
Well,
these two fucks come down here to have a good time at the Derby and end up dead for their troubles. And maybe due to a lack of police supervision by the Louisville Police Department, who had they been patrolling better, maybe these three young Utes wouldn't have went out and murdered people on Phillips Lane.
That's unproven. Although Phillips Lane, I can't understand why they were walking around, but they are from Canada. And I've said it many times. You can do a lot of things in the state of Kentucky, but one thing you can't do: you cannot kill the Canadian tourists on Derby weekend.
No, because that's not on Derby weekend.
Not on Derby weekend.
Bad timing.
Eyes of the world.
Bad timing on everyone's part. Eyes of the world. See, we're in agreement there. It took a little while. We're in total agreement. If you're going to kill a Canadian, don't do it on Derby weekend.
Now, just in case y'all thought this was actually bullshit, I took the time to go to ABC News and check it out and found this story. And I found an interesting little nugget of information in this story. And it has to do with Fatima and Fahed, by the way. That's the brother. And what was in their car and on their persons at the time when they were arrested. 20 loose Xanax pills, marijuana, multiple thousands of dollars in cash, and 2 pairs of Beats by Bolin headphones.
I told you. ABC News. ABC News on this.
Oh,
and that's the truth, guys. They were customers. They bought them right at, he bought his at Steak and Shake. The brother, he bought and paid cash money. Fatima handed me a bill for $58, and she said I can make this go away for a set of those headphones. So I sent the prints out to the car.
All right.
But I'm just telling you the God's honest truth. Hey, and listen to this. This is great. This now gives my headphones street cred. Beats by Bolin's got street cred now. We've been involved in a murder. Fuck you, Dr. Dre. Who have you killed?
Well, probably plenty of people. I don't know. I don't really keep up with that fucking the track record over there.
Can't prove none of it.
But all right, we were about to talk something that was almost ready to be proven against you. I was trying to steer you. Tell the people about the reappearance of Ma Bolin. Did you or did you not? Kenny Starmaker Bolin. Have to. No, shut up. Be quiet. Did you or did you not?
Be quiet. I don't like being told to shut up.
Be quiet. Did you or did you not? Were you or were you not forced by the law enforcement officials to produce a living Ma Bolin, or elsewise you would be brought in as a further person of interest for further questioning in her disappearance? She was so pissed at you and being a lousy son that she has kayfabed you and was dead. You didn't know where she was and she couldn't be found. And you couldn't remember where she'd gone and nobody else could find her. And you were suspected.
Through no fault of mine, I had been given 2 bogus addresses, mainly because the old bitch is senile and can't remember a goddamn address that she lived at for fucking 2 years, which was here. She was, well, a year and a half, but it felt like 2. And she couldn't remember her goddamn addresses. She can't remember her phone numbers. She claims she'd been trying to call me, but she called a number that I haven't had in 3 years. So all this was her fault. But fortunately, my cousins knew where she was.
I'd like to be able to disagree, to be quite honest with you, but that does sound like Ma Bolin's
pretty
activity she could potentially be involved with. All right, continue.
Yeah. But fortunately, my cousins knew exactly where she was. They knew exactly what trailer park. They knew that she had been spotted at some bingo halls around town. So I had to sit up there and wait for her at a bingo hall and have her forced into my car by a couple of my friends. Not Fatima, by the way. And they forced her in the car. We took her to Golden. We took her to Golden Corral, and made her sit down at the table with not only June, my sister, but one of the decent people of the world I know, Big Frank Regal from Jeffersonville, Indiana. I had Big Frank Regal come and eyewitness her. And plus, he's a well-known photographer as well.
I was about to say, you took pictures, but did anybody from law enforcement get a chance to speak to Ma Bolin, or did you just produce these pictures and these timestamps holding up these papers?
I had an off-duty jailer by the name of Kenny Bennett. He's an off-duty jailer and slash former sniper, and that's his deal. And I had him come by off-duty to meet with everybody, verify that was Ma Bolin, and have him get the word back to the state troopers, the federal marshals, and the sheriffs that had all been by my home looking for her.
This sounds like the sketchiest, shadiest bunch of horse shit that's ever gone down.
No. All this is no bullshit, man. I'm giving you real names here. Big Frank Regal.
I didn't say the names weren't real.
Well, I didn't change
that's probably the only thing about it that has the air of truth to it.
Well, I didn't change any names to protect the guilty. All the names that were used were the correct names, even Fatima and
I'm not even talking. We've beaten that story to dead to death.
Oh yeah, go ahead and throw the dead word in there again after murder. Murder, for crying out loud.
Murder and calm in this case went together. It was very calm murder. The point is, I've heard now you've got an offer out, and we must mention that. Everybody knows you've somehow conned John Cosper, author of the Bluegrass Brawlers, into writing a book about your life.
Mm-hmm.
And now
we come to an agreement. I didn't con the man.
Well, anyway, there's going to be a book produced about your life, and you are now
agreement on our parts,
offering people the opportunity to write intros to your book for $75. In other words, they give you $75 and you'll print the intro they write saying good things about you.
Wrong. There you go. Bullshit. Wrong. Inaccurate number of you're way off fucking chart again. That's bullshit. The charge is $79.95, not $75. You're trying to short me. You're trying to short me damn near $5 a head with your bogus reporting. $79.95, and yet, of course, as always, there's not a goddamn ounce of who's that guy that tells the rest of the story? What's his name?
Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey. An ounce of Paul Harvey in you because you never tell the rest of the story. For your $79.95, you get to leave a comment in your book, unedited, about me, be it good or bad. I'll be honest with you, I expect mostly good. I don't think there'll be any bad comments in there. You get a free set of Buds by Bolin headphones. You get a free DVD.
Wait a minute, it's Buds now, not Beats?
Buds by Bolin are the well, let's face it, they're the lessers of the Beats by Bolin. I'm not giving everybody a fucking free set of Beats, especially now that they got street cred.
They're the little things that just plug in your ears.
Yeah, there you go. Even you do. So you get a free set of Buds by Bolin, valued at $12.95. You get a free DVD, a 6-hour DVD, the best a decade of BS. That is a 6-hour DVD. Probably sells for $29.95.
Wait a minute. How did you get an entire decade of your BS onto a 6-hour? All right, never mind.
Well, it's been selling well for many years now. And you should buy you a copy and educate yourself onto the art of managing professional wrestlers. And but yeah, you get the free Buds. Oh, and you get a free signed book that you are now in. And as a matter of fact, if I'm not asking too much, I mean, I've bailed you out on this show many a time, including today. And I want to talk about Austin here in a little bit too, because that's bullshit. Speaking of bullshit numbers.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
But I will offer you the same opportunity I'm offering the rest of my friends and fans. If you will pay
no,
$79.95, I will let
pay
you
a penny.
You
No.
can make a comment. You can say anything you want about me, good or bad. I hope you read
I
down
will
and do
pay.
good.
No, I will not pay you a penny.
But well, you'll get a free
No,
copy,
you can be
free
quiet.
copy of the book.
Be quiet and quit bumping your gums. I will not pay you a penny because I will not pay you to write something good about you in a vanity publication that you're obviously trumping up.
You're flapping your gums a little bit because did I mention this is limited to the first 35 that pay their money? There's only a few slots left.
You're only going to fucking cornhole 35 innocent people.
Did you hear the list of celebrities that have already left comments in my book? Do you know a guy named JBL, former world champion? Left nice comments about me.
JBL paid you $79.95 to write something nice about you in your book, is what you're saying.
There you go. You just confirmed it. Jerry the King Lawler.
I asked you a question. You did not answer.
Jerry the King Lawler. Mark Cuban. Are you familiar with Mark Cuban?
Mark
Owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
Paid you money? To any of these people paid you money to write this in this book?
You're putting that in the form of a question. You're acting like there's doubt whether or not this happened. But the comments being provided in the book by Mark Cuban, Jerry the King Lawler. I think Jim Ross is even going to put some comments in the book for me. I'm pretty sure.
Paying you.
And he's got a lot of money. Jimmy, not everybody's like you. Some of these people, $79.95 ain't a big deal.
But you shut up again. That's why he's got a lot of money, because he doesn't waste it on con jobs like this that you're perpetrating.
Con jobs.
Yes.
It's an opportunity. It was a lot like the Kroger situation. It was a meat opportunity. And this is an opportunity to be famous with me. You should have done the same. And you know what? You know what you're pissed about? How many books have you written? You've written a few. How many?
Are you going to allow me to answer this? I've written the
five. Unlike you, I'll let you answer. The
Fine Midnight Express scrapbook and the wonderful Rags Paper and Pens. 2 books so far, 1 coming very shortly.
And what you are, Jimmy, once again, our whole fucking problem in life is your fucking jealousy of me. I come up with a way to make $3,500 easy money to pay for the cost of my book, and you're pissed because you didn't think of it, because you could have given the same opportunity to your fans. You could have let 35 pay $79 to $99.95. Let them put a comment in your book, you're just pissed you didn't think of it.
You just told people exactly that this is nothing more than a money grab. You've just exposed.
I told them up front, this is the way to have you help me support the cost of my book. These books aren't free, Jimmy. They cost time, effort, and money. You got to pay the writers. You got to pay the editors. You got to pay the lawyers. My lawyer, Tim Dennison, you're familiar with him. Well, he's got to review that book and make sure there's no incriminating evidence or anything in there on me over things that may or may not have been done in the past.
I was actually sitting at the table when he found some things that he told you that should not go in that book.
He blacked out a large section. So we're going to go over that, though. I may supervise his decision on that.
You may submerge past him on something like that.
I may submerge right past him on some of these executive decisions, because who knows that book better than me?
All right, this is. Let me ask you a question. You're mad that Steve Austin broke your record, the highest rating.
Well, that's what you all are saying. I don't know that that's true. I haven't seen any documented
that to everybody.
Supposedly beat me by like 1,000 listens or something. So let's say it's true.
Blew you away 1,000 listens.
Let's say he beat me by the 1,000 that I've heard from certain people.
Well, I
took stone cold
access to the fucking figures. So 10,000 is the accurate figure.
I refuse to believe that in a billion years. But you think so? You had to go out and get stone fucking cold Steve Austin to beat me, where I have beaten every wrestler, every personality, regardless of their fame, regardless of their sport or activity. I've beaten them all, had 4 of the top 5 rated shows ever done on your show, and you had to go out and get Steve fucking Austin to beat me. Well, yes, if that's what it took, congratulations. But I promise you, now that I've got this new HD webcam, and now that I've got this stereo sound, because if there was any faults,
you're not becoming one of those webcam people where you do inappropriate acts for cash on the webcam, are you?
What do you consider inappropriate?
Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, please watch out if you have any communications with anyone under a Star Maker Bolin banner.
Star Maker Bolin 1.
I'm afraid. Oh God, I'm afraid you're setting up something we don't want to know about.
I give the people
there are
what they
people
want,
who do
unlike you.
inappropriate things on webcams on the
You
internet.
you don't even own a webcam, do you?
No, because that way I can't be accused.
Well, some of us have a face for radio, and some of us have a face for high definition television. So I think you know. I think you know where you qualify.
You got a face for fucking widescreen VistaVision television. 70 millimeter.
VistaVision.
That widescreen shit.
So we start talking porn, and then all of a sudden you pull out some 70s VistaVision to talk about. Who's the expert now, Jimmy? I done forgot about VistaVision. That's old beta tapes.
I know all kinds of.
That's all your personal supplies on beta. I've seen some of them. I was going through your closet once when you was out of town. VCA, you had some of those. And I'll tell you, the fans right now, Jimmy Cornette was personal friends. He don't like admitting it. He was personal friends with John Holmes. And if I remember, John Holmes offered to let you hold his cock, and you got pissed off because it was a chicken.
I've got an autographed picture of the John Holmes autograph.
I know you do. It hangs over your bed. I've seen it.
Well, it is right over there over the bed, but I never met the man. It was gotten for me by a third party.
I heard you met him. I heard you was in his hospital bed, room, not in his bed.
No,
I did hear. I heard you was in the room the day he died.
You've heard incorrectly, sir.
Well, I'm just telling you what I heard.
Well, what you've heard
from VCA and Vista.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
As a longtime wrestling fan, who, as a wrestling fan in your childhood, who in the year 1974 was tougher, Jerry Lawler or Big Al Green?
Who was tougher?
Just tougher.
God damn. You know what? If you're going to throw it down to fucking toughness, I might have to, boy, Jerry, he might not sign my book if you know what? Jerry can get pissed if he wants. I might have to go Big Al. Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler was never accused of having big telephone broad arms.
Well, big telephone pole broad arms, according to Lance.
Well,
Russell.
I guess I did leave out the word pole.
Yeah, you left out the word pole, especially in the tone of our previous conversation. I don't know why.
Here we were just talking about John Holmes, and I forget the word pole. Yeah, what an idiot I am.
And then Big Al Green. But no, the reason I asked you that question is everybody knows Jerry Lawler was your favorite wrestler. He was. Jerry Lawler was the big name, but nobody figured, even though he was a better promo and he was a young guy and looked better and everything, nobody figured that Jerry Lawler could beat up Big Al Green.
Big Al Green. I tell you what, you said a lot of things that were true there. Jerry had the edge on him in a lot of categories, probably most, but tougher.
And Big Al Green, along with his brother Don Green, are going to be in the Mean Greens, the Heavenly Bodies.
Another gimmick you stole.
Yes, I did. Enlightened and illuminated in my new Louisville book, and that's something. So Big Al Green.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to bring this up.
He's just going to blow this point for me. Year after year, these guys were in the main events all across the territory, drew huge money. And people don't remember that they were such big stars. Now, more people were paying to see the guys in the Tennessee territory in the main events live in person every week than pay now to see the WWE live in person every week in the entire world.
And you know what? Wrestling fans of today just cannot comprehend that. They just can't imagine that basically a local company that toured 5 states, give or take 6?
Not even.
They just cannot comprehend that. But the question I have for you, and this is dead serious, because there's been times in my life that I've loved you.
Nobody else is really listening now. By this point, anyway, we've driven.
No, they're all believe me, they're listening because now we're getting to the hard, deep, inner soul stuff that the fans like to hear. And what I'm going to ask you, and I want your God's honest answer on this, because I always thank you.
Don't believe in God, but I'll answer you honestly.
I thank you for giving me the name Star Maker because I felt there were too many kings wandering around, even though I think I did originate it even before Lawler, but I could never prove that.
You were 12 years old. You originated.
Yeah, I was the king of kickball. I've told you the story many times. Lawler overheard it, stole my name. But you gave me the name Star Maker, and that gave me some individuality, gave me originality. There are no other Star Makers in the history of professional wrestling. You, on the other hand, you're famous for two things: the Midnight Express and the Heavenly Bodies. And you ripped them both off. They weren't even original thoughts. How do you feel about that? How do you answer those accusations? Amina.
They're not really accusations because I acquiesce to both of them, but I researched those ideas from, and actually Dennis Condrey named the Midnight Express, and he had previously named.
So you're putting the heat on Condrey, huh?
So no,
Condrey never had an original thought in his life, but he came up with the name of the team.
He came up with the name of the team.
Who
done it before?
Who came up with the theme music? Let's see if you tell the truth there.
Giorgio Moroder.
Mm-hmm. Who gave you the idea to use that music for them?
The ICW television show presented by the Poffo family in 1979.
Which it was me when I heard that they were using it. I said, you should use it too. And beyond my belief, you actually did.
Yeah, you tried to take credit for that.
All right. Well, I told your producers earlier I had one other thing I wanted to talk about, but murder seemed to trump the lead story of the day. And I want both of our opinions on this. The Baltimore situation.
Not Voldemort, but Baltimore.
Baltimore. I said Baltimore. It's exactly what I said. I know the word Baltimore. I used to broadcast TV shows with Timmy Baltimore. I know the fucking show, the word Baltimore.
Was Timmy Baltimore really from Baltimore?
No, he's actually from Florida.
All right. Anyway, what pithy comment do you have to add to the situation in Baltimore?
Well,
obviously, and once again, and we've talked about it on the program before. Alice, help me here. We've talked about it on the program. At least the cops could make it look good. At least they could stop killing black people for a little while. But they seem to do it more often and on camera, or being caught in the moments afterwards on camera.
Admittedly, this one is a little bit more nuanced, as 3 of the 6 police officers were black.
Well,
yeah,
but
thank you,
that
Alice.
doesn't mean that I'm.
This makes it more about police power and the thin blue line rather than race.
Black people killing black. I've never looked at it like black people killing black people. I've looked at it like cops killing black people.
Yeah, this is.
So you label cops under one race, then? Am I correct in that?
Well, they are a group. It is a segment of society that is more.
I watch.
Would you listen and let me just get one pithy comment out?
Go ahead.
It is a segment of society that is more often than not, more often than most all others, to blame for publicly, either on camera or in the middle of taking them into custody, killing black people. So yes, we should group cops together.
Okay, well, I watched Blue Bloods, starring what's his name, the guy that did the shows from Hawaii, got the big mustache.
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck, that's his name. Tom Selleck. I watched Blue Bloods. I know all about cops and how they think. But I want to point out 2 things. I also watched Rookie Blue, so I learned it from both ends.
So we're getting it from both ends, all right now.
Exactly. So what I want to point out is I want to see if we agree on the photo of the fucking century. The photo of the century that came out of those Baltimore riots. Can you tell me what that photo was? What did you see that just stuck with you and said, man, this could make changes?
Chances are you liked the picture of the mother slapping her son around going, you stupid son of a bitch, don't you be out here doing whatever the fuck it is that you're doing.
You know what? I knew we would agree, and you are so fucking close. That was my second favorite.
Oh, that was number 2. Well, then what was number 1?
My first favorite, and her picture was blown up as big as day. It was one of the most crystal clear pictures I've ever seen. All this looting going on, all this riot and mayhem, fires, everything going on behind her in the background. You see people running with televisions, with mini fridges, refrigerator stoves, the fucking clothing, food, everything.
They were running with stoves?
Yes.
They're really strong up in Baltimore.
Yeah, strong. They pent up rage. All right, so they're running.
They had them on a dolly. They stole a dolly and a stove.
Dolly, and they stole the dolly too. Well, there's a huge rise of dolly thefts.
Wasn't the fucking Hulk in her rioting? It was fucking people. A lot of the darker persuasion, as I noticed from the from the video. I didn't see a lot of white people getting their 2 cents worth in.
Well,
But I saw,
we've said here on the program a number of times that I don't understand the sense of rioting when the people that are rioting because they're mad that their neighborhood or their class or their race or whatever has been put upon, they burn up and beat up their own shit. Go to the governor's mansion and fucking shit up. And then I would be behind you on that.
We're in agreement with that, but they never do that. They burn their own shit down, and I never have understood that. But the photo I want to talk about, and I'm sure you've seen it, is the large, thick black woman going in a...
Well, you don't know. See, now that you don't need to describe someone like that.
That's who it was.
Well, this is coming from the large, thick Kenny Bolin.
I got no problem with that. I'm a large, thick white man. I got no problem being described as such. That's what I am.
Said Mr. Pot to Mr. Kettle. Continue.
This large, thick black woman who is not making very good time has 2 items. That's all she's got. She has an industrial-sized pack of Bounty, and she's got a 12-pack of Double Roast Charmin. You talk about looting for the bare essentials. My hat's off to that lady. I wouldn't arrest her. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
Well,
that lady's a model fucking. The only beef
with you there. If all you need is shit paper and something to wipe up your spills, there should be a place where people can go to get things for free.
I think I can beat this one. A few years ago, there were riots in London, and I cannot remember what they were about, but there was a guy.
I want to hear what beats that.
He was carrying I think it was about maybe a 5-kilo bag of store brand rice.
Well, that was going to be my point. The only way I can side with her anymore is if she got the RX brand or something instead of stealing name brand. But I guess if you're going to loot, get the fucking name brand.
This was a bag of Tesco value brand rice.
Store brand rice. All right. That trumps my girl. But, Jimmy, I've got a solution to the whole thing. I guess you heard that Baltimore canceled. Well, they didn't cancel it. They played the baseball game, but they stole a Memphis booking idea.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Okay, the empty fucking Coliseum baseball game. Why did they? Explain to me, because I don't watch baseball.
Yeah.
Why would they play a game and not let people into the building? Why did they play the fucking game? I don't understand.
They played the game in an empty stadium. Absolutely.
Was it a TV contract or what the fuck?
Oh, the game was televised. The game was televised with.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why would they play it in front of no people? Why wouldn't they just say the game's canceled?
They had canceled the 2 previous games. I guess they thought putting 3 doubleheaders on them later was just too much. Because they already got to do 2 doubleheaders. Because you got to make up.
Why do they have to fucking? Why can't we cancel the fucking game?
Well, because you got to make those games up at a later date. So what they
have to play a certain number of games.
Well, 162. Everybody knows that. Everybody that's a baseball fan, that's a real fucking American. Surely to God.
Well, there you go. I didn't realize it was fucking mandatory.
Well, what are you? Are you Canadian? If you are, you better be careful. So, especially around Derby Day.
So they had to play this fucking ball game, regardless whether they let anybody or not. So this
they played the game. They got to refund everybody's tickets, and I've got a solution that they could have done. Because you know what today? Now we're recording this a day or 2 ahead of time. You know what today is? Today is Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, yes.
Dedicated to who? Go ahead and say it with me.
Is Cinco de Mayo as a national holiday in Mexico, isn't it, Alice?
Yeah, actually, it's not. It really is only
smarter than you. Let somebody smarter than you, Bolin, explain to us exactly what it is.
Cinco de Mayo commemorates a battle that the Mexicans won over the French, and it really is specifically to the Puebla people of Mexico. It's not celebrated everywhere. Pretty much anywhere you go, banks are open, grocery stores are open. It's not Mexican Independence Day. That's September 16th, if I remember correctly. So, yeah. It's an American excuse to drink.
Well, but see, America has co-opted this into a marketing scheme, and there's probably more people celebrating Cinco de Mayo with Jose Cuervo here in this country.
As they call it, Cinco de Drinko. That's
You might say Alice Ratley is smarter than me, but let's face facts. Who the fuck knows what day their Independence Day is? But everybody knows what Cinco de Mayo is. And it's a day the goddamn Mexicans have a fucking good time. That's what that is.
Would you just get, what does this have to do with
that is a day. Baseball celebrates Cinco de Mayo. Have you ever watched a Milwaukee Brewer game? You've seen those little sausage links running around. They have the big race. Well, that celebrates the Italians and the Germans that are famous for
right there, schnitzels and bratwurst.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they have a chorizo. They have a chorizo that runs in a sombrero.
My son loves chorizos, and he does run in sombrero. He sure does.
What has this got to do with?
So even the
I don't know. I think we all dropped acid about 10 or 15 minutes ago.
Well, what I'm saying is that we have all these special days to these special races. Well, we had all those riots going on in Baltimore, and I couldn't find 8 white people that were getting in there, getting their shit in, and getting anything out of the deal. So what they should have done. And don't accuse me of being racist, because 3 of the last 5 girls I've dated are black. One from the Philippines, and then one became later, because I'm not sure.
Dated her from the Philippines. She's never been to. Oh God, keep going.
Been in the country many times, and quit telling lies on me. But what they should have done, and this is how you pack the stadium, you get all your fucking money, and the blacks wouldn't have cared because they're not going anyway. You have Caucasian Day at the ballpark. Caucasian Day. They even in Chicago once, in Chicago in the mid-'70s, they had Midget Day at Wrigley Field. And
no, they did not.
Yeah, they did. This is a Harry Carey. I heard him tell the story. They had Midget Day at Wrigley Field.
He had Alzheimer's. They didn't have a day for only midgets to come in.
What they did is they had Midget Day at Wrigley Field, and any legally sized human being who
legally sized.
You know, a regulation-sized human being.
A regulation-sized
not a fun-sized human being.
Who brought in a legitimate, documented midget who had to meet the height requirements, got in free. So here's where the problem came in at, though. A lot of the people that were bringing in the midgets...
I can't imagine where the problem would come in.
A lot of the legal...
A lot of people trying to pass off children as small men.
I'm trying to tell a serious story here. We all quit laughing and making fun of this. The legally sized humans would bring the midgets in. Well, that left their buddies out in the parking lot. There's only so many midgets to go around. So
that was going to be my next question.
They were taking the midgets and throwing them over the left field wall for their buddies to get, and then they would get in with the same midget that their buddy got into.
Who did you say told this story?
And after 4 rounds of heaving midgets over the left field wall, they finally caught on. Hey, we got a lot more legal-sized people in here, and we got midgets. It should be 50-50. Well, it was about 10 to 90 is what it was. A lot of people were using the same fucking midget to get free admission.
Using the same fucking midget.
And the moral of the story is that is the origination of dwarf tossing. I was going to say drunk tossing.
Well, that's how it all got started. You never heard of dwarf?
No, it's not. But see,
started in the early 1970s at Wrigley Field.
None of this is true.
Harry Carey invented dwarf tossing. I think that's the moral.
He didn't invent it. He promoted it. He didn't invent it. But
Alice, right now, would you just hold on? Alice, right now, look up Harry Carey and dwarf tossing and see if this story has appeared.
Hey, the other story got backed up by ABC News.
To Harry Carey or any news source. In the meantime,
I need a drink.
Oh God!
Yeah, get over it.
I'm done. This has got to be over with.
No Caucasian Day, because only white people go to baseball anyway. Chris Rock just did a story on HBO that only 8% of Major League Baseball is black, and less than 5% of the fans are black. So you only piss off 5% of the blacks that can't get into the Baltimore game. All the others were going to be white anyway, and now you get their money, and that leaves the blacks and whoever that are pissed for having their guy killed by the cops. They can go down and settle up, burn something, steal something, beat up a governor, whatever the fuck, and everybody's happy.
For the record, the best I can find is that a guy named Bill Veeck once hired a midget in 1953 to play for the St. Louis Browns.
Yeah, that was against the White Sox in the World Series, and Bill Veeck is who you're talking about. Pronounced the man's name.
Well, anyway,
what he did is that he sent that midget up because he knew the pitcher couldn't throw him 3 straight strikes. And he went up there, and of course, he walked him, forced in a run, and they won the World Series because he had a hidden midget in the dugout no one knew about. Well, he was little. Nobody saw him. And that's how they won the World Series by.
But let's get back. I can't believe I'm saying this, but let's get back to
Bill Veeck, the owner of the Chicago White Sox, who also hosted that thing about disco night and had them burn all the disco
Would you
records.
Please get off the caffeine. Let's get back to Caucasian Day. I can't believe I'm saying this.
I am drinking caffeine-free watermelon Powerade. What I'm drinking.
You can't do that anyway, and I agree.
Watermelon flavored.
There were no rioters and looters.
Did I mention my Powerade's watermelon flavored?
Oh,
I love watermelon flavored Powerade. It's good stuff.
Do they pay you every time you say watermelon Powerade? Did I just get paid?
No, but 3 of my 5 girlfriends love it.
Alice, I think we got to bring this to a fucking close. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for once again allowing
Did I mention my Filipino girlfriend? She's one of the ones that loves that watermelon.
Yeah, you did. And we'll find out more about that as soon as you come up with that first class plane fare for her.
I've got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing Star Maker Bolin to inflict his presence on your lives again this week. Next week, something completely different and enjoyable.
I can figure out where Fatima's got that $9,000. I can get her to front up some money. She ain't going to need it.
For Alice Radley and Star Maker Bolin, I'm Jim Cornette. If you'll listen next week, you'll give anybody a second chance.
Oh, they will. Just promise me back on the show. They'll be back.
I did say good day.